how to prove that you don't exist, and who is that what is proving it. There is something. Well, we all know that the body is inert. It is not the body feeling pain, because when we are in the hospital and we have this mask for an operation, you don't feel anything. There's this body laying there, and the doctors cut in it and they do anything with it, but there is no pain. So the body feels no pain. The body is inert. Now what about the mind? Because the pain is not in the body, it exists in the mind. If you think of something when you have pain, when there is pain, the thoughts about the pain move away and something else comes in the place. That means that it is all in the mind, in the thoughts, in the attention. Well, it is also proven that the mind is inert. It is a tool. It is like water. The water itself is inert. It doesn't blink in the sunshine. It reflects the sunshine, but itself it does not shine. And that is what the mind does. The mind itself does not think or know. It reflects what is coming through. And the actions that give the thoughts, and the thoughts that make the actions go by the thoughts, through the thoughts, the actions are not yours. They are God. God's actions. God is the doer. Well, that's a proof that you don't exist. Your body is inert, your mind is inert, and the actions are from God. Well, if that doesn't make you free, released, relief, free. You are there, but you don't exist. That means what is existing is God. And God has no trouble at all, no difficulties. God is pure love, pure knowing, pure awareness. That's what you are there. Pure awareness you are. See? So you might say, well, I don't react anymore to the things around. But that's not your decision, because you just prove yourself that you don't exist. The only thing that exists is the God consciousness, the high consciousness that is growing to its own free state, and it uses bodies on the world. These bodies are the instruments of that high consciousness, God. I love the word God because that feels so true and special and safe. It is the home feeling of the soul. And that is what uses circumstances and bodies on the world in relation to each other. Or you might as well say in relation to God himself or itself, because God is all there is, and he plays all over with the own forms of his consciousness in different levels of understanding. So God is fabulous. He can make himself all-knowing. He is all-knowing, and he can make himself a dummy, and he can make himself a fool, and he can make himself a student eager to learn He is all forms in all existence. There is, as a matter of fact, only one form divided in all great level of understanding and becoming. While he is all, he becomes himself through all those bodies that he uses. It's not your body, it is his. It is not your mind, it is his doing. He is the actor in his own play. There's only God. There's only this high knowing awareness, this consciousness knowing all. That's the proof of it, is that you can understand a difficult task for a child that doesn't understand what he has to do, and you can explain it at the level of that child, and then the child understands and both are happy. That is what God is doing in his own selves, everywhere in his own self, in all levels of understanding. He explains himself, he makes himself understand, and he makes himself happy. That's you. You are that awareness. You see it. You are aware of it. It's all you. You are not what you think, because the mind is inert. It is the tool of knowing, like water does not shine by itself. And like the sky is not blue. It is not blue, it is just reflection. And it is so fantastic to understand the reality of your being. That is really the bliss of knowing. To be and to understand that what you are. And then there's the Ananda, Satchitananda, is know that there's only this God being everywhere. Wherever you look, you see yourself as God, that is. All the rest are his instruments. Happy, happy, really happy. Not having a reflection means your mind is out of order, because it doesn't reflect, it is not working. When there is no sun, water will not reflect the light. It is not working. And when you don't react, there is no reflection of the happenings, the passings by, so you are free of it. No reflection, no reaction. That's the most peaceful state. Empty awareness. You are aware of all that's passing by, but you remain empty of it. That's the state of the divine consciousness. That's the God being. He is aware of all his forms moving around, and he is free of it. It is free of himself, what it is. If you don't react on the reflections, there is no reflection, and you are free of your own awareness, your consciousness. It is not filled, it is empty, although you are very aware, but it doesn't make you move or react. There's no reflection. See what I mean? I just try to describe. Well, you can only know what happens when you see the people react on each other, and all those forms hardly listening to what is said, but they react already before They understand what is said. That's taking over each other's energy, and it's a big mess in the world. So if you don't react, there is no reflection. Your mirror is clean, it is bright, it is transparent. That's your consciousness. Happiness, happiness, real happiness. Assumed personal, because only wholeness is. Wholeness plays all roles of itself to discover itself and all that kind of development of its own growing to itself. Like you go on a ladder up, you use all the stairs of the ladder to go up. And when you are up, you see that all the stairs were that one ladder. Likewise, if you grow, the consciousness in you grows to its own highest super level. It is aware that it is all levels of consciousness growing to itself by the steps that it makes, that by the experiences, and that experiences are taking place in all forms that are on that ladder of going up. It is God seeing himself, climbing up to himself, that God consciousness is aware of all the steps and all the ladders of all the forms that he made. It is his own imagination. And when you are aware of that imagination, you reached that God consciousness. And if you are not aware, you still have that God consciousness, but you are on another step of the ladder, on another level, but still it is all that only one God being, that God consciousness playing. It's not you playing, it is the God in you. He uses this body form. This body is inert and it is used to reach the God. So it, as a matter of fact, this body is divine. It is the tool of God, the tool of the highest super consciousness, using this form and using this mind and the reflections, and then finding itself in peace and emptiness and no more reflections, only pure light, not reflection of light, but pure light itself. And that is what you are. Happy, 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 eternally happy. And when you react, it is only God reacting to himself. When you understand, it is only God understanding himself. And when you are happy, it is only God happy with himself. It is always God reaching himself by means of playing. He is not himself, but he is something different. And then finding out he is this all. You will find out that you deep inside are really that divine God being, and not the form around. The form around is your tool. It's not your name and your form and your person. It is God, your own tool to come home to your real self inside. You see? You feel? It's just God feeling. He is God everywhere. And He's helping the ones that are not aware. And He is taking the ones that are having troubles to come. He's reaching His hand to Himself. And when He sees that he is not really ready to climb up, he gives himself the peace of being there and taking the time needed. And it is just one beingness, it is one wholeness in all those forms. All the steps are one ladder, and all the forms are one conscious being of God, the Supreme Being. In all forms, He is always everywhere Himself. Yeah. The more your attention is directed to this mind-blowing truth of your being God, the more you experience that God doesn't give anything about what is going on if He is walking in the rain or being tired or thinking about the problem or wherever He is, in which role He has put His form, His existence, wherever God is living at that moment that He chooses in that state. It doesn't matter, nothing at all, what is done by that body where He is in. Like He's now in your body, this God consciousness is now in your body. And you think that's the habit of the play, you think you are doing all the things that you do, and you could be tired of it and not wanting anymore, or exhausted and blah, blah, blah. I had enough. I have done it so often, I don't want anymore. That's all the things that come to you when you act. Or the other side. Oh, I like this so much, I don't want it to end. I'd like to go on endlessly, it is so nice. That's also an aspect of what you think that you are the doer. But the God consciousness in you, which is, He is the moving factor. He is moving you around to discover finally that you are not that one doing all these actions, whether it is nice or hard work. It is the God inside of you that makes you do it. And then it comes deeper and deeper into your awareness. It doesn't matter anything whether you are in the kitchen doing the dishes or walking in the rain, or somebody at the door wanting you to do something and you don't like it. Whatever happens to that body that you think you are, your body is the instrument. Do you think that the bucket cares about if there is water in it, or mud, or stones, or whatever can be held in the bucket or in the bag? It doesn't give nothing about it, and that is because you know it's just a tool. And that's what God is feeling in you, and you are starting to feel it also, that you don't give a thing about if you are bending down to carry something, or to go out in the freezing wind, or you are sweating, or you are tired, or you are good. It is all only awareness and consciousness, and that's not yours. You are not this consciousness. It is, you are the tool of this consciousness, and this consciousness is the God being in you, that high consciousness, that super consciousness, that is silent with all appearances. It doesn't matter to it. The paper doesn't care about what is written on it. And the God consciousness inside doesn't care about what the tool is doing. The God consciousness is using that tool, like the paper is used to write on it. It's so easy when you get closer to your real self. That is awareness of the consciousness of the God in you. And you did the movements, you were moved, and the actions, you were put in action. But it was that consciousness growing to itself, this high consciousness, and it will end up empty. Empty of all that has been done, like you forget all the things that you did when you were 3, but it was very important that you did it. And when you went to school, you forget it, but it was important to make you grow to this moment. That consciousness is growing to itself. It is God playing from childhood till he is into the highest realm of the bliss of himself. It's all his way. It is his doing. It is God. And you are dead. You used your body well. Now it may rest, and you can enjoy it with a glass of wine in the evening and be peaceful in the evening, the last days of your life. Or maybe when you are youngst, or that's even better, you can enjoy what life gives you, but you are aware that it is a gift from God. Each day is a gift from God, and live it peacefully, happily, and contentedly, because you are that high consciousness inside you. You are that God. And be blessed to be aware of that.